was gonna get lazy on you guys. My buddy is here, and we have an i8, I was gonna just show him, a couple of things, a couple of tricks that he could go. I tried to scare him away, saying, this could take, you're probably gonna have 30 plus hours to get this thing dialed in. The white, if it is swirled, it's literally imperceptible. I had my scan grip lights out. I had my Fenix light. I couldn't see squat. But I'll show you guys, I'll bring the camera in here in a second and show you the swirling of all the black. And this black feels like the shadow line trim on, the pillars, the B pillars on a typical BMW. And so my fear for Lewis is that it's gonna do it all the time.
It's gonna be hard to maintain.
Right, it's gonna be hard to keep from getting scratched and swirled. We'll see. I'm guessing it might even come out with some Sonax Perfect Finish, so we might just use a finishing polish that has a decent cut. So I'm going to start with foam. First we're going to waterless wash it, just get it clean. We're going to do a quick little auto scrub on it just to get this area clean. And what we'll do is we'll just tape around here, and we'll just do this little section here, and we'll kind of see. We'll do like a little 50-50 and see what it looks like. So let me grab the camera, let me get in here and show you guys how swirled it is.
Okay.
All right.
This will be good. Say that again.
All right, not to sound like I don't know anything about washing cars, but what's waterless wash?
All right, so we'll get to that in a second here, but let me show you we should probably actually waterless wash it and then show the swirls. All right, so do you guys see what we're talking about here? There's some dirt. There we go, now we're focused. So you can see the swirls now, the white, you can't see jack. It's a nice pearl, typical, probably really hard, really nice, really hard to scratch BMW white pearl. And then you've got a very similar to Shadowline black trim. My guess is this is going to be really soft. And so what I'm talking about when I'm talking about hard versus soft, I'm talking about how difficult the paint is going to be to polish.
Yeah.
And so this paint, most likely the black, and part of the reason why it'll scratch so easily is that I'm guessing is really, really soft. And so waterless wash, like a watered wash would be, we'd grab the pressure washer, frickin' spray the car down and wash it with soap and water, right?
Yeah.
But with waterless, I don't really want to, I'm lazy on you here.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do this section, so rather than wash the whole car, dry the thing, we're just gonna spray solution on, which will lubricate, and then we can just wipe the area down. So I'm gonna use just some Adams waterless wash. Generally, my favorite, the best waterless wash would be Optimum No Rinse. That would usually actually do a rinseless wash.
Optimum?
So, Optimum No Rinse. So there's wash, normal water and soap, shampoo, and then we have a rinseless. So rinseless would we have a bucket of water, and we use a solution in there, and we wipe the car down and then dry it.
Okay.
So we're not using a hose. That would be rinseless. And then waterless would be, we're not going to use water, we're just going to use a solution and just wipe it down.
Could you wash the whole car with
Yeah.
waterless wash?
Sure. So this is basically 2 microfiber towels that are sewn together with a silk edge, so it's really thick, it's like 800 GSM. So it's 2 400 GSM tiles, grams per square meter. So it's a thick, heavy towel, which I tend to like to use for an application like this. So notice, only because I'm doing a really small section here, I don't want to drag the dirt.
Yeah.
I just want to keep flipping the towel to get it clean.
Now, when you're using a microfiber, you don't put a lot of pressure on it.
Right, because that's how you're going to get your scratches. If I really dig, especially with the dirt, I just dragged across it.
Yeah.
I'm just letting the towel do the work. And I always want to employ that. Now, when I'm dealing with this black, you're certainly going to want to get another towel. You're certainly going to want to take extra care. So actually, normally when I'm doing a waterless wash, I wouldn't get lazy. I'd use the towel in quarters, so I could keep flipping it.
So is waterless wash, how does that work with dirt? Isn't that bad for the car? You don't rinse
Yeah,
it
so
first?
I mean, it's got a lubrication. It's like freaking soap that doesn't leave a soap residue, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm spraying it on. It adds a little more lubrication than like a detail spray. And so I'm putting, you know, soap on the car and I'm wiping it off. And this doesn't leave any kind of residue, so whatever's in here, whatever chemical makeup is in here is designed to leave a nice, you know, clean finish. So now, I mean, this looks great, right? Right now, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean,
Till we get out the light.
yeah.
I mean, you could even see the scratches when the waterless wash was in there. You could see the different, you know,
Exactly.
different marks. And so we're going to be able to get that out, you know, here in a second. This is detail spray. You could do this with soap and water, you know, too. This is called a Nanoskin Auto Scrub. So it's just rubber.
Yeah.
I probably need to replace mine. It's super old. You can see how the rubber's starting to get a little beat
Yeah.
up. And I've done lots and lots of cars and things with this one sponge. So you've heard of a clay bar. It's a little piece of clay, and you use the clay with the detail spray or some sort of lubricant in order to get the contaminants off the paint.
Yeah.
And so we have, you know, it feels pretty smooth, but I can, you know, I can feel in my hand,
Yeah.
because my hands are rough from, you know, messing with the barbell. So I'm going to spray this on, and I'm going to just simply remove any contaminants that might be embedded. Because last thing I want to do is, when I start polishing, the polish will pull the contaminants, but then it'll start grinding those contaminants, that dirt, whatever it loosened up, it'll start grinding it into the paint. You don't want that. So we want to remove this so that we have a completely clean, untreated surface. It also helps to remove any wax or anything that's on the car.
Oh, okay. So that's what the detail spray does with.
And you're sure this has never been detailed? There's no like coating or anything on here that you know of?
I mean, it's a brand new car.
Okay.
So.
So now this, especially on this black, will probably scratch it even more. So we
Really?
we want to be. You only use this if you have to.
Yeah.
We needed to use it here. It's never been done with this car. All right, this is very unobsessed garage-like, but we were in here putting the intake and stuff on earlier today. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get my polisher. This is a Rupes LHR 15 Mark II. So this is the newest, latest, greatest. I also have a washer in here that will allow it to spin freely. It's called a washer mod. Just as 400 bucks, I think. This certainly isn't necessary. It isn't necessary to have this machine. But the thing that's great about this machine over some of the others, like the old Griots or Porter Cable or some of the other polishers, is the orbit. So basically the way these things work is the thing moves like this and like this. So it's moving in a random fashion. So it's a random orbital. Well, this one has an orbit that's 15 millimeters. So where a normal polisher moves 6 or 7 millimeters, this moves as 15. And so it's moving in a much longer, has a much longer throw. And so the distance between the throw, see, a normal machine would have a much tighter throw. And so this gets more work done more quickly. But it's still random, so it's be really hard to mess up your paint using something like this. And so we're gonna start with the least aggressive pad. A lot of times I'll know, and in fact, people have yelled at me for not starting with a milder polish right from the get-go. Just from experience, a lot of times I'll know what I think is going to work. I bet with this really soft, I'm betting this black is a really soft paint, really easy to correct, just probably really hard to finish.
Yeah.
So there's different types of polish. There is a compound or something that is really aggressive, or a heavy polish. And then you have like a medium polish. So, you know, I've got different polishes here, but a heavy polish would be like Menzerna FG400 on the end.
Yeah.
A medium polish would be something like Final Finish 3000, which is next to that.
Okay.
And then a finishing polish would be something like a Super Finish 4500. And now, those numbers really don't mean anything. That's just Menzerna. It's just one company or one brand. What we're going to actually use is the Sonex Perfect Finish. Sonex Perfect Finish has a scale of 1 to 6, 1 being the most aggressive cut, 6 being the least or the most finishing. Sonex actually is a diminishing polish, so it breaks down. So it starts out at a 4 out of 6. So there's some, you know, correction capability. and it finishes at a 6 out of 6. And so it's a really unique polish where it breaks down and really finishes down nicely. So I'm going to use, and this just comes from experience, I'm going to use and this actually comes from stealing from other, professional detailers. This is stolen from Todd Cooper Ryder at Esoteric, but this is, I'm going to start with a medium pad, so it's medium hardness. So it's relatively stiff.
Yeah.
Versus I have white pads in there that are really soft. And so I'm going to go with a slightly heftier pad and a polish that starts out as a medium polish and ends as a finishing. We're going to try it on this black. We'll see how that finishes. If it gets everything out, then we're good. If it doesn't, then we'll have to go to something more aggressive.
Okay.
And because this is random, we're not going to, the risk of damaging is pretty slim.
Yeah.
If not zero. But when we're doing this, when you're doing any kind of polishing, you're removing paint. We're actually removing it from the car. It's coming off the car. And so there's a certain amount of paint in the car, and so we're going to remove like that much.
Oh, okay.
So let's say there's however many, there's 15 mils of paint. Now this probably has more like 10 mils of paint, and we're going to remove like half of one.
Oh, okay.
So you can't polish forever,
Yeah.
but we'll be able to do it, 10 or 15 times in the life of a car, if not more. This might even remove less than that. Okay, so let me plug this in, and then we'll show you how to do this. So here's Sonic's perfect finish. I just took it from the fancy bottle and put it in these because these are self-sealing or self-cleaning.
Oh, okay.
So it keeps it from getting stuck and hung up. And so Lewis was just asking me about wax and putting it with a machine. With wax, we'll just do it by hand with a little wax pad. I just like that process. You could certainly do it with a machine. I just don't feel like it's necessary to do it. Larry Cosilla, who's a big YouTuber, MONYC, and he's a professional detailer, does some really high-end cars and a lot of celebrities' cars. He always talks about how he likes the connection with the car.
Yeah.
And this could introduce, theoretically, especially with something soft like this black, it could introduce scratches. So we're going to do it by hand, and we can control the environment. And so that's generally what we'll do. Now, this is a topic that something you probably want to do when you start out on the pad. You want to prep the pad or prime the pad.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get some product or some polish all over the pad. I don't think priming a foam pad is as necessary as a microfiber pad, but I figure it can't hurt.
Yeah.
And so notice I'm not caking the polish on here, but I'm getting it in all the spots. So I have some on the pad, and then I'm going to just put a couple of dots. Now I find that usually when I prime it the first time, I only put a little bit of polish on here, just so it doesn't get all over the place. When you're doing this, you always want to keep the cord or the power cord off of you, or off the car. So you're going to wrap it around you, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the polish, on the paint. And I'm going to spread it around both. Now there's some crazy contours here, so I'm going to have to work the machine.
Yeah.
I'm going to run this at speed 4, and I'm going to add some pressure. And I need to tilt the thing over on the edge here to get the edge. So I need to follow the contours of the paint. But notice my speed. I'm not doing this. I'm just slowly allowing the machine to do the work. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction. It's called a cross pass. Really, the purpose of this is to make sure you don't miss anything. I'm going to go back over it again. things I always struggle with is keeping it flat. So you want to make sure you keep the pad flat.
Okay.
So there's no reason to leave this on. You want to get this off actually quickly so that it doesn't sit, you know. You won't hurt anything, but it'll just be harder to get off.
Yeah.
And so Sonak's Perfect Finish comes off great. Yeah, so that didn't work.
It didn't work?
I can already see. See the bigger scratches?
Yeah.
See that one right there? It's not out. So we're gonna have to do something more aggressive. Let me get the light. See how we've certainly improved it.
Yeah, for sure.
So see now we have like the deeper scratches, but the big spider webs are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a huge difference.
And so you could call that like a 70%, 75% correction. You can call it a day.
Yeah.
But let's see if we can get those out with a microfiber. Then again, this was what we would call like a test spot. You know, we're testing this and then you could follow it on the rest of the black. By the way, the carbon fiber up top is probably going to react differently. And so we've improved it, but there are some bigger scratches, deeper scratches that, you know, we could choose to just leave it. See, there's some wonder if that's from the pad or if that's already there. There's some random little imperfections. Yeah, this black is a scary thing to deal with.
It's already like a really big difference, so.
Right. Yeah, so now we just, again, we have the deeper scratches, but we also have this part to deal with here. This, see that kind of little circle-y?
Yeah.
That's coming from the foam pad. See, the only difficult part with this is that, you know, without a paint depth gauge, I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with this car. I mean, I'm assuming that the white is typical BMW pearl, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Is this mineral white?
I don't think so.
Some
what's the other one?
I8 exclusive. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not, it's not Alpine white.
No, but I don't think it's mineral white.
Yeah, so it's a metallic, probably 3-stage, white, super hard. Will do really well. See, look at your headlights all swirled out. I mean, you're going to have a really hard time dealing with that forever when you're washing.
Yeah. Well, not after I get the Obsessed Garage, you know, setup. I can just take care of this all the time.
I'm nervous about trying a compound on this.
What could happen if it went bad?
You have to repaint the whole car.
Oh my god.
Or not the whole car, but, you know, this section. I mean, the likelihood of it blowing through this is very slim, but if anything's possible.
Yeah.
It's up to you. We can leave it like this, or we can run a compound on it.
I don't know. That kind of worries me. Because I know I'm not going to be the guy that if we need to repaint the car, we'll repaint this part.
Right.
I'm going to have to repaint the entire car.
So look at the difference. Look at the difference of that there.
Oh yeah.
That's what it did look like, right? And now it looks like this. So you still have the deeper scratches. I think it'll come out with a compound, but again, this black paint is weird. I mean, it's a weird paint.
I don't know. I want to try it, but then, you know, I'm worried about what if it goes wrong. But I know that those scratches are going to
drive you nuts.
annoy me.
I think the likelihood of it damaging this is pretty slim. Well, is there another part on the car that isn't so prominent that we could do? See, this is a completely different material. What you got there, right? Bacon?
Mm-hmm.
How the heck do you got bacon? That's a giant piece of
We
bacon.
made him bacon.
This part of the car, this black, when you're washing it,
Should I just...
or drying it.
Yeah.
So one way to avoid this being scratched is to never touch it, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're gonna have to touch it with some sort of sponge, but if this were my car, what I would probably consider doing is any parts that were black, so you might as well just do the whole car the same way, is we would get a really plush microfiber towel and get like 10 of them or 15 of them. And so we would put soap in our buckets. We'd have a 2-bucket method, so we'd have a rinse and a wash. I guess technically you wouldn't really even need rinse and a wash. You'd really only need to do 1-bucket method. But I would still probably use 2 buckets. And I would take my towel and I would, fold it up. And I would use plusher towels than these. And I'd throw it in there. And then as I'm washing it, I would just take it and just do this. Flip it, drag it down, take it, flip it, drag it down, and not go back and forth on the paint. And then maybe I could come back over it and then move my towel around, and I just keep flipping it and keep ditching the towels. You don't throw the towel away; you get another towel. I mean, it's going to be super tedious and going to take lots and lots of work and extra effort to keep it clean. But that's this black here. I think that anytime you touch it, it's going to swirl out. It's going to scratch.
Yeah.
And then again, the risk that you don't have enough paint on here. I'm sure some of the professionals, some of the guys that watch this stuff, they'll watch the video and they'll make comments and they'll tell us this paint.
Okay.
Again, I don't have the depth gauge. I don't have a gloss meter to figure out, how much improvement we're doing. Clearly, we made an improvement with just that Sonax Perfect Finish. I'm supremely confident the Sonax is perfectly fine on there. But using a compound on this black, I don't know. I'm 95% sure it'll be fine. But again, I don't have any experience with this, and this isn't a $10,000 car.
Yeah.
And the paint on this is, again, and this is a different material. It's a plastic, or either plastic or carbon fiber, some sort of composite. So again, unless you've had experience with this car, it's hard to tell. But certainly this white, again, the white really doesn't need anything more than what we just did. So you would do that. You do 4 passes. You would probably tape off the black and treat the black differently. But all the white, I would follow and use that 4-step process. You can add a little pressure, 10, 15 pounds of pressure, and do 4 passes with the Sonax Perfect Finish. This will jewel up perfectly. And even if it is swirled out, even if there are swirls or imperfections, you can't freaking see them.
Yeah.
I can't see them. Maybe in the sunlight you might see them. There probably are some.
Yeah.
But all of this black is the tricky part on this car.
Man, that really sucks.
One consideration would be you just pay an expert to do it, and so you pay a professional detailer to go do it, and then you just wrap it. You just clear film it.
Yeah, but
Ryan, get away from the car.
Can't you see the clear film?
Not if you do the whole hood. You can always see it. You can always tell. And this is I get this question a lot, like using clear film and why don't I use it? You can always see it. I mean, I can always see it. Now, from a distance, when the car's perfectly corrected and you have good quality clear film on the car, like Suntech or XPEL or something like that, if you don't know what the paint's supposed to look like, you're not going to be able to tell that there's clear film on it, because you're not going to do like a line down the middle.
Yeah.
But when there's clear film on it, you're just putting freaking plastic on the car. It looks different. It has a different look to it.
Yeah, I've never liked it.
Right. And now most people, when they think of it, they think of like a line right here. I mean, we don't really do that anymore, and the material is much better. It doesn't yellow like it used to. They even have self-healing properties. When it does scratch, you can just run a little heat over it, like a hair dryer or a heat gun. It'll level out, but it still looks very different. It's just like we're going to put a wax on here. When we put a wax or some sort of synthetic sealant or synthetic wax like we'll put on here, it looks different than if you coat it. To do this car, I mean, if you were going to pay someone to do it, I mean, I know guys that would do it for $500 or $600. It probably should cost $3,000 to correct this, to correct the car. But I know not everybody charges that much. But there's some dudes. I mean, what you might want to consider is I'm thinking about like Bradley Nielsen took the esoteric class with me, he started his own business. He probably charges 600, 700 bucks to do this car and to coat it. So he would do a coating over it.
Really?
Yeah, and he would correct it and perfect it. He's better than I am at this. He's young. He's what 20 years old, something like that. But he's really good. He just has a natural feel for the polisher, and he started a business. So maybe do something like that. And then I'm pretty sure he has a depth gauge, so he would know how far to take that black.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that, then you might want to wrap it, because this is going to scratch again.
Yeah. I may just...
Like one wash, scratch.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you
side
wrap the whole
mirrors,
freaking car, yeah.
This. So I mean, it's worth it just to have the car.
The wrap this car is probably $6 or $7 grand.
Yeah. Well, I got some quotes from people. I got for 12 grand.
Yeah.
Well, the car's gonna
No,
go.
but-
I think it's like 3,000 miles.
You would wrap the car unadulterated, clean, corrected, and then you put a coating on top of the wrap.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what you would do, which is whatever. And it looks really weird to me.
You see, I don't want to do that. I feel like I'm gonna get so annoyed.
But then you don't have to care for it as much. It's just this is a master class type car with all the contours and curves and issues. And
Like, how crazy would it
Yeah.
be to detail this?
And again, luckily it's white, but I mean, you would just need the right machines to do that.
Yeah.
Rupes Nano, Hybrid Nano would get in there, to a large extent. But I mean, that machine is 650 bucks, or 550 bucks or something like that. You'd want a Mini, you'd want a Nano, you'd want the one that I have. So, all the stuff you're going to buy, you're going to be, a couple grand.
Yeah.
Which, is fine if you're going to do it to other cars.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, obviously, I want to pick up another car, but I'd be.
yeah, so to do this car, I would want a depth gauge. So I'd want a depth gauge, so I knew what this black was what I was dealing with on the roof, on this black. This is the first time that, I've made many of these videos, but this is the first time I balked on grabbing the compound. So guys can, now I haven't done many cars on video because I don't really do many other people's cars. I don't mean my freaking car, all three of my cars are dirty.
Yeah.
And here I'm messing with your car. So that's why I just don't do other people's cars, because it's like I don't even have time to do my own.
Exactly.
And still enjoy the process. So let's put some wax on this thing. So let me get a towel.
So when are you getting all the, do you sell that currently?
What?
Like
Not yet.
things like this? Are you going
In in a couple of weeks, probably next month. What's going on? So this is a solution that's to get off the polish residue off the paint.
Yeah.
It's called CarPro
I
Eraser.
don't think you guys saw that.
I think we were out of frame here, but I just put some CarPro Eraser on. And now we're going to put a little, this is Mizuno Power Wash. So this is a sealant. This is a polymer or synthetic sealant.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need much. That's probably a little too much for this spot.
Yeah.
That would be enough to do the whole hood.
Oh, so this stuff lasts forever.
Yeah. Get out of here, good guy. Now, this doesn't really fill, so the scratches, they might look a little bit different with this on it, but the combination of this and the Colinite we're about to put on the car doesn't really fill anything.
Yeah.
And so we put that on, leave it on for a few minutes, 5 minutes or so, and then we'll wipe it off.
You love detailing. I just want to take care of the car.
Right, so
you know?
Lewis just asked me, if you, just wanted to take care of the car and make sure that it's, it's clean and washed. And I told him that I'm going to be selling all this stuff, so I'll have a package for all of this. But you're going to want specific things to wash, right? And so this car, you're going to want a good pressure washer. You're going to want a foam cannon, so that's the base, that's the foundation, right?
Yeah.
You could start with a hose and a foam gun, like a little foam gun. But you know, if you wanted to do it right, you would have a pressure washer, you know, a Krenzel pressure washer. So you'd have a pressure washer, a foam cannon, you know, a good spray gun like the Mossmatic or even an MTM, and then you would have the bucket with grit guards, so two buckets. You have a good wash mitt. Again, on this car, you're probably going to want to wash with microfiber towels and just drag it gently. With the white, you can wash like normal.
Yeah.
So you need Adam's car shampoo, you need an Adam's wash pad. Again, you'd probably want something even softer than that Adam wash pad because this is going to scratch. You need Colonite and Power Lock, you know, to put on the car periodically. And if you're going to polish it, then you're going to want all the polishing stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to want, you know, interior cleaner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have lists. Which I'm going to have for guys like you who don't really have time to go do massive amounts of research.
Yeah.
And it's been really hard for me to, as the Obsessed Garage thing gets bigger, it's been hard for me to like take the time out to like give a dissertation on, you know, teach everybody in the world here's what to use. And so, kind of out of necessity, I built a website that said here's all the products. You know, so you go to Obsessed Garage and you look at the gear page, and all the products are on there. But then it's even harder. It's like, okay, here are all the products, but where do I go get them? And I send you to all these different places.
Yep.
And so what I'm working on is having it so that you can just go to one spot. So the next package will be microfiber. And so here are the 84 microfiber towels that you need to do the job.
Yeah. 84.
Well, you would do there's let's see, there's 9 different types of towels that I use for different applications. And so each has 10. And so the reason it's 84, 4 big drying towels, and then 10 or 8 different types, like a different polish removal towel, a different waterless wash towel, a different towel for every application. All right, so we had this on here for 5 minutes or so. So here, I'll let you remove it. Feel how great that feels when you take it off.
All right, so I just.
Yeah, just wipe it off, just like, you know.
Nope.
You can go back and forth.
Oh, okay. Like
This
light
doesn't
pressure
matter.
or
This
like-
doesn't really matter with pressure because it's so clean and so, you know, it's perfected. Well, you know, to the extent we can get it.
Yeah, that does feel nice though. It's so
Right.
smooth.
Yeah. And so this part doesn't matter as much. But feel that.
Oh my god, that's a huge difference.
That's what it's all about. And your car will literally stay like that.
Yeah.
What's up, Katie Val?
What kind of car is this?
I
I don't know anything about cars.
What?
This car is
How do you
way
not know
cool.
anything about cars?
I don't.
Oh my god.
This car is way cooler than any of yours, Matt. Oh my
No,
god.
daddy car.
This is awesome.
This is
Daddy's
a-
blue.
this
Daddy's green is cool.
This is a regular person, like, crush car. You know, people who don't care about cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they see this thing,
Wow.
they lose their mind.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, what is this? This is so cool.
Right.
Open the doors.
And the blue seatbelts match the blue.
Careful, Katie Bell.
This is very cool. So your car's faster than this one, Matt, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, these
Even-
aren't super fast.
Yeah, the Mustang's even faster.
Look at where Ryan, where's the door handle? Ooh, bet you don't know.
So now this is a
Right there.
this
Yeah.
is a wax. It's some sort of, nobody knows what it is, but it's some kind of wax.
Yeah.
It's a sealer wax or a. I think this was originally designed to be used to like insulate things like electrical components and things like that. But
Really?
this is like $15, $16 a bottle. So Colonite 845. I've had the same bottle for like let's see, 12 years now, something like that.
12 years?
And the only reason it's gone down this far is because I've accidentally like tipped it over and dumped so I probably only used like that much, you know. And it's down to here because I've dumped it on the ground so many times.
Mom, go.
I mean,
Go.
that's a solid investment for 18 bucks.
Yeah, it's really good. And you know what the funny part is? I keep coming back to this. As you're washing it, you use that microfiber method I was telling you about, but then you never touch it and dry it. And so that's where one of the deionizing kits would work. And so you would never dry the car. You would just deionize it. So you spray deionized water, and it just
Just
dries
let it-
spot free, right? So you would never actually dry.
What, the other day when I was washing, it was such a pain. By the time I rinsed the whole car,
Mhm.
and like by the time I did this, that side already had the spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where using a pH balanced soap like Adams, like a lot of people, conventional wisdom says, you can wipe that off. Conventional wisdom says that you should get the soap off the car, right? So you're in the sun or you're in some sort of, there's a little bit of sun. You would think that, hey, I need to get the soap off the car because I don't want it to create water spots. But actually the soap on the paint won't water spot like water would, because the soap is essentially neutralizing those minerals. And so you want to leave the soap on the car while, you want to get it off, you don't want to let it sit there because it won't come out as clean.
Yeah.
But you won't get water spots. So, see, that looks fantastic, right?
Yeah, that looks really good. I was just looking
Now,
at it.
the tricky part is when you get the light out.
Yeah. You think it'll show in the sun?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so scratches. So from here, you come stand here.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
And it looks beautiful. From here, everything looks, especially under these lights, everything looks fantastic. It looks great. Now, and this would be 100% acceptable to most. And now, when I bring it up close, I'm going to get my flashlight out. You see the scratches?
Yeah.
In the sun, it'll be scratch crazy. You'll see it here.
Wow. That's a huge difference.
Right.
That's not 75%. That's it's like 90% better.
Right. So we're getting out, a large percentage of the swirls, the surface stuff. Now, again, if we had a depth gauge, a simple Del Fesco, $800 depth gauge, I gotta get one.
I'm surprised you don't have one. I mean, you've never needed it.
Yeah. Then I'm sure we could get these out too. But the issue is, will they show back up? The reason why I was concerned is that I can see some, even from I can see some pigtails, which are these little circle scratches that came from foam. And to me, that's an indicator that this is really soft and that it just makes me nervous what microfiber is going to do to it. And so that's what slowed me experience with this paint
Yeah.
and knowing what to do.
Your solution is polish the car? Did you say
Yeah, it
earlier?
would be polish the. So start watching obsessed garage videos on
Yeah.
polishing. I've got a freaking enough of them on there.
After.
Either the probably the best video series to watch would be to watch Tim's Gray or Silverstone M3. So this is the only car I've ever done that wasn't mine. So it's probably 3 months ago we did his Silverstone M3 from start to finish.
Yeah.
And so it's the same procedure I'm talking to you about, where we did a single Sonex Perfect Finish with a yellow pad across the entire car. So we did a single step, single stage correction, if you will, and did the whole thing. And so then the black will all look like this,
Yeah.
which is 50, 60, 80, 75% better than what it looks like now. And then it'll come out feeling like that
Yeah, the smooth feel.
versus, now that's a little dirty, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even clean, when you go to run your hand, it's not going to feel like
Yeah.
this. And believe it or not, that combination, let me see that towel, that combination of colonite that we just put on here, this will last a long time.
Yeah.
Now what might happen, don't freak out, what might happen is colonite tends to sweat or comes to the surface, and so if you're out in the sun and you see this haze over, you just have to, next time you wash it, it'll wipe it off.
Oh, okay.
Because the wax sometimes, especially when it's hot out and you on black, you'll see it release the oils, it'll come back to the surface and you'll just have to wipe it off. Usually it does that once on a...
Do I have to
dark
wash
color.
it when it happens, or can I just take like a microfiber
Well,
towel?
you would want to wash it, otherwise you're going to scratch the dirt.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
either that or a waterless wash like we just did. So to do this car, you're looking at probably $3,500 worth of stuff, $4 grand worth of stuff. to do it.
No, I'm just kidding. That's sort of what I was.
So that's
expecting.
why it might make sense to call somebody up and pay him $1,000 to do it.
You know, the only reason I think it'd be worth it to just buy it is because, like, I want to be
Right,
able
if
to
you
do
want
it
to do
constantly.
it, and that's what I think that the message is that like I could pay someone to do it, and it'd probably be better for it. Now, granted, I'm making videos, right, and I wouldn't have any videos to make if I was paying someone to do it.
Yeah.
Actually, I could just go video them doing it, but
Yeah.
you know, then you have multiple cars and you're spending, you know, thousands of dollars. You buy that stuff once and you just kind of add some
Exactly.
product, you know, to the shelves when you need it, and it's really not that bad.
Yeah. No,
so-
I definitely just rather buy the stuff because I notice it bothering me, and I don't want to have to call someone every single time.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I think even if I own it, I'm not gonna like master.
Right.
You know,
So
detailing.
first step will be, before you polish it, is we need to get your washing dialed in. So let's look at the stuff here. Let me take you.
All right.
Just so you know, unless you put like, well, I guess I can rewatch the video because I was gonna say you're gonna need to send me a text with all this stuff.
Step one for washing, you would want this and this.
Yeah,
Right.
I really want one of those.
So this package is $1,575 for everything you need. I won't have these probably until late, you know, for early April because I have 110 of them sold, and so
Yeah.
I'm waiting on the parts, waiting on the guns. Thanks everybody for being patient on that, because the gun, not this gun, but the Mosmatic gun is like a freaking game changer. It's like the greatest thing ever made,
Really?
and they don't have them. Like they only have 4 of them. They didn't even know they existed.
Oh my
So I'm
God.
getting them to make them, you know.
Yeah.
And so we're waiting on that. And then this for your rinsing, so you don't have to touch the car. So this is like $400. So this with all the parts and all the connections, so it just works.
That's only $400.
This thing, yeah.
I could, man, I thought that was so much more expensive.
No. And so the combination of these two are the foundation of being able to wash efficiently. Now you could use a hose too, so you could replace this, still get this, but you could replace this with doing a hose, and so, you know, you get an Ely hose reel and everything, you know, you're looking at, you know, a couple $100 instead of 1,600.
Yeah.
Now this is the foundation of everything and makes your life so much more efficient. That 1,700 comes with a foam can, or sorry, 1,600 comes with everything, the foam can, all the connections, everything you need.
Yeah.
And so, sorry, this isn't a sales pitch. Like, I didn't set this up for Lewis to come. He's like asking me for this crap. So screw you people who are telling me that I'm selling. I'm creating it because if I try to tell you where to go get all this stuff, it's freaking hard. I mean, I'm learning this right now. Like, I'm going to tell you to go buy this other stuff, and it's going to take you.
Yeah.
You're going to be freaking emailing me, texting me all the time, and it's like it's hard to get all this stuff. So I'm just putting it all in one spot, and yeah, I'm going to make freaking tons of money off of it. But what do you want me to do? You know, it doesn't exist. And so you'd start with that. You'd wash with Adam's shampoo. So we get Adam's shampoo. So you'd have Adam's shampoo, and you'd have a grit guard bucket set up. All right, and so you'd have this thing. I should have these in 3 or 4 weeks, ready to go. 4 weeks. With the grit guards, the Obsessed Garage deal, the bucket, the dollies, the connector, the whole shebang, done.
I really like that setup.
Yeah, it's gonna be like $300
Oh, it's not bad.
because you're also doing a wheel bucket too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what it cost me, but I'm making, you know, $100 on the package or something. So it's not like I'm making a freaking $1 million on it, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things that, like, it took me forever to get all this stuff together with the gamma seals and the right buckets and all the stuff. And so those I'll have really soon. The little Griot's Garage seat. You don't need that, but you can get one. And so you'd wash with that. I don't think this is a good pad for your car. These are the pads that I use. This is the Adams wash pad.
Okay.
But I think that this is going to be a little too rough on your
Too
car.
rough.
So again, I would probably just get some of these, you know, these 80/20 towels and use these to wash your car, you know, or something like that. So Adams soap, some, you know, bunch of microfiber towels, the grit guard buckets, And so the soap's pH balanced, so you can just throw it on the car and wash the thing. You don't have to worry about, if it dries in the car, you just freaking put a little more on and spray it off. And the other thing you're gonna want to dry the car is ammo hydrate. This stuff is freaking awesome. And so even though the car will be deionized and you'll let it air dry, so I guess for this car, I don't know if you really want this stuff.
Yeah, I like 100%.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get this.
you would just spotless and not touch it.
Yeah. Now you said these things, I think I saw it in a previous video of yours, you have to replace these things.
Yeah,
Every
I've
few
still
washes.
to this day I've never replaced the cartridges in that. I've had this thing for like 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Done 150 washes. Now I only use it to rinse. I'm using my really efficient pressure washer.
Yeah.
It probably needs to be replaced now, but they do last a long time. That's why you buy these, and they're like $90 to replace or something like that.
Oh.
They even have a program if you find that you're running through it, blowing through these all the time because you're doing the full wash with it. Because I only use it to rinse.
Yeah.
You're doing the full wash, then you can set it up to where you pay like a monthly fee, and they just send you new ones every month.
Really?
And you send the old one back and send you a new one. And you kind of keep it going.
Okay. Well, you don't really need it, like, unless for the rinse, because that's when.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some people like to do the whole car the whole time, especially if you're doing it out in the sun, because then you never have any water spot issues. You can just do it in the heat of the day; it won't matter.
Yeah.
So you need those things. You would want Onesie, or now it's called Nexet cockpit for the interior. So you want this stuff for the interior. You want Griot's leather scent as this is my little secret thing. It smells kind of funky there, but in the car, I think it smells great. It makes your car smell like a new car.
Yeah.
You're gonna want Carpro Pearl for the tires. So you put this on the tires, and you use an Adams little foam block, just like a little piece of foam that you put it on the tires. So you buy a dozen of those or so. And then you're going to want, the polishing stuff, which will be your next step after you start washing, would be probably Colonite 845 and Power Lock was what we just put on the car.
All right. Now with this for the wheels.
Oh, I forgot about cleaning wheels. Cleaning wheels, I would probably just get Adams Wheel Cleaner, which is fine.
Okay.
Either Adams Wheel Cleaner or, this isn't Griot's, but Nexet Color Tech Wheel Cleaner. Which is a little more obscure, a little harder to get a hold of. I don't think Detailer's Domain has this anymore. I don't know where to get it. So it's probably easier to just get Adams Wheel Cleaner. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You probably want some detail spray, and Adams detail spray is fine. Again, you might want to go back, watch this video, buy some of this stuff, just kind of get started.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have all this stuff. Like it's $280 to buy this, and this is how you wash the car, and this is whatever it costs, and that's whatever it costs, and I'm gonna have every piece and part, everything, because I don't use everything in here religiously, but the vast majority of it I do, and so it's gonna be packaged together. You just say, do it, and guys like you're the reason that I'm doing this.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I mean, I doubt I'm gonna go out and even if you sent me links, go to every single link.
It's hard, man.
I'd rather just buy it.
Yeah,
in
it's
one
so
place.
hard to. I mean, I've been doing this forever and just playing with all this stuff, and I still don't know everything.
Yeah.
And all this stuff just kind of. So I'm just what YouTube has been, and even with all the organization that I put into, you could go watch all the videos and figure it all out.
Yeah.
But I think most people just want to be able to just click the button, and then you can use it. You want to do the work. You want to go out and you want to play with the car. You want to wash it.
Yeah.
But that's the proof of why that this is working. Is again, I've sold 32 complete pressure washer packages in like 5.5 weeks. It's absolutely insane.
That's crazy.
I thought I'd sell. To be honest with you, I ordered 15 guns, and I was nervous that I ordered that many. Because they cost me whatever, a decent amount of money. Selling them for $110, so do the math at 25% margins or something like that on the gun.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to spend, $800 on, on some guns, or $600 and whatever dollars on some guns, and I don't know if I'm going to sell them.
Yeah.
And so I ordered those. I went to buy the 15. They only had 4. Actually, they had 3 because I had already bought one for me.
Yeah.
And so now there's only 3 in the whole world. You know, they're trying to get them from elsewhere and, you know, in the right fittings and everything. And now I've sold, I think, 90 plus different, you know, guns, 96 or 97 guns or something like that. And so now they're freaking out trying to get it to us.
Yeah.
And so it's proof. I know people want to be able to just, here's the package, just do it. You know?
Click a button.
At least I want to believe it. We'll see what happens.
Well, no, like I mean, at least for me, I wouldn't go out and like get every individual piece for this. You know,
Right.
I need it to just be a set that I can buy.
Right. Because to get to this has taken me years of buying more than I can imagine. It cost me probably 5 times as much, 3 times as much just to get to the right spot.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's really disjointed. I'm leaving you more confused than when you came.
A little bit, but
and part of it is the trickiness of your car. It's not as simple, but ultimately I'm going to solve your problem. It's just going to take me a little while to get you there.
yeah.
And
I'm really worried about that black paint.
I can send you links to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, the thing that spooked me a little bit in grabbing the compound, because I don't want to just go frickin' grab the compound, it's not going to take enough paint off the matter, but we were getting pigtails just from, you know, Sonic's perfect finish on a pad, which I'm probably being, you know, a little paranoid. It's probably fine, but
Yeah.
again, if I had a depth gauge and I threw it on there and it, you know, had a decent amount of paint on the thing, and I'm just grabbing, no big deal. But I just don't know. I don't know what's on there, and you wouldn't know either. So that's the issue. And to buy a depth, I mean, I have all this stuff and I still don't have the depth gauge.
Yeah.
This might motivate me to get one. So,
Yeah. I kind of want to get one now,
yeah.
just to like have it. Because honestly, if I hadn't come talk to you and just watched YouTube, gotten the whole setup and done it, I could have ruined the car. So.
Yeah, again, highly unlikely, but possible. You know, that black paint is weird, and this car doesn't have standard panels and standard metal. You know, it's got composites and carbon plastics and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing, and if you've done 5 of them, then you know how it responds. I just haven't.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not a $10,000 car. I can just write you a check. You know, it's a couple $100,000 car that I'm not gonna, you know, I don't want to break it. You know, if I have the choice. So anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it's a little different video, just us kind of playing and me failing and screwing up Lewis here, but this is kind of how it goes, and this is part of the reason why I think that, you know, having a place to send everybody, you know, I get these calls all the time from, you know, my friends and then people that I've just, you know, never met before. It's tricky to just say, okay, here, go buy these 320 items, and here's links to all of them. It's kind of hard to do. So instead, I'm just going to put it in one spot, and you can go buy it, or you can tell me I'm a jerk or whatever you want. But the idea here is that I want to create a solution. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more crazy. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.